Welcome to the Bodybuilding Banter Podcast, your number one source of all things bodybuilding. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on future episodes. Now, here's your host, Leroy Rollins.
All right, people, welcome to the Bodybuilding Banter Podcast. I'm here with my fellow Canadian brother, Bretton McNeil. He is a WNBF physique pro and owner of McNeil Made Online Coaching. For those of you that don't know him, why don't you introduce yourself, my man, and then we'll kick things off.
Yeah, so it pretty much covers it there. So I'm 23 years old. I'm from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, fellow Canadian. So currently going to school right now full-time, working towards my kinesiology degree. And I actually just recently got accepted to Acadia University, so I'll be attending university there in September to finish my degree.
Sweet.
And yeah, that's about it, man. Just kind of staying busy with that. Like you said, online coach as well, so I do that on the side.
Yep.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice. Okay, so what me and this guy did was we threw up the old Ask Me a Question on our Instagrams, and both of us got flooded with a few questions. I didn't pick all of them. Pick some of the good ones that I got, some of the good ones that he got that I thought would be interesting to cover. So we're going to just kind of banter back and forth, hence the name of the podcast, talking about, what he's been through, what he's going through, and all that kind of stuff. So first one, man, just a general one. When are you planning to compete again?
So I'm looking at doing 2020 is the plan. So kind of, I guess it is with the WNBF.
Okay.
When you get your pro card, you're supposed to compete every 2 years once you get it.
Right.
So my game plan was to, I guess, play the longest game possible. So
yeah.
I wanted to basically use as much time as I had from the time I got off stage until I have to basically compete again.
Yep.
So I'm looking at probably towards the end of 2020, probably I guess a show or two, depending on how things work out earlier. Maybe like in the summer or something like that. But yeah,
Nice.
2020 is when it's looking like.
Location-wise, do you have any idea yet? Have you thought about that? Because you won your pro card in California, correct?
Yes, I did. So that was obviously unreal to go out and travel there and have that experience. So, obviously something like that financially and stuff like as well as a commitment. So that would have to be something I'd have to figure out. But no, I really don't have I don't have anything figured out yet. I'll kind of just, I guess, a little bit closer to showtime, I'll start looking at stuff.
That's the only thing, right? And even for us here in Canada, like, you're on this side, I'm kind of in the middle, and all the WNBF shows are way on the West Coast, right? So even to travel, within our own country is super expensive. So I totally get what you mean.
Oh man, yeah, crazy. Even just I think we were chatting about it, plane tickets. Yeah, even just going to Edmonton for me to do the Edmonton show in October, you know what I mean? Just to go there, fly there, $900, something like that, ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure.
Killer.
I'm doing I'm trying to get into the WNBF stream as well. So I'm doing I was looking into where can I compete and stuff like that, and like we just said, the closest shows you got to fly out, whereas for me I can go down to the States and compete in New York. It's like a 4-hour drive, and it's the same thing, right? So that's what I'm doing. A week after my first show, I'm going down to New York to do INBF there, and then should I qualify for Worlds, then I'll figure it out from there. But same thing, right? Travel is such a huge expense on top of the cost to compete.
No, 100%, man. I agree with you. So you're doing so nice. I was going to ask you about that. So you're doing what's the first show that you're doing? You're 6 weeks out now, right?
5. We're 5 now. So I'm doing
5 now.
The CPA, so the Canadian Physique Alliance.
Yes.
They have, you probably know for sure, but for the people listening, they have their natural stream and then their open stream. So in the natural stream, I've already won nationals. I went basically as far as I could go. At the time, it was 2017 when I won nationals for lightweights in bodybuilding. Took some time off, blah, blah, blah. Now we're back into it, going that same route, but with the understanding that I can only go so far. So I'm like, okay, kind of like yourself with the WNBF, that's where I want to go. That's where I want that pro card for the natural thing. So I was like, okay, how can I play this out where it makes the most sense for me? and that just happened to be driving down to New York the week after, and it worked out nicely because it's April 13th is the one here, and then April 20th, the next weekend, is New York. So we're just going to hit the two of them. And then should I qualify for Worlds, that's not till November. I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Right on, man. No, that's perfect. That's ideal back to back. That's something. That's a big thing. Like just seeing some of the competitors this season and stuff. That's something I really want to try and capitalize on next season, if possible. Is do multiple shows, just get some more experience, and just obviously do more shows, have some fun. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
but like you said, the travel struggle is real. So we'll figure that out.
And it's actually cheaper to go to the States. Like I couldn't believe how much cheaper it was to compete down there. Like our hotel was, I think, like $100. Entry was like $60, and even with the conversion to Canadian dollars, it was still cheaper to go down there, compete, versus go 45 minutes up the road for me to compete the week before. Like it's frustrating, right? Because like you want to compete, and like if there was like 6 shows in a row, like I'd bang them out, but I'd be broke.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure. All right, question answered. Next one. I thought this one was pretty interesting. With you being in your off season, so how many months now roughly have you been in the off season?
So I would say a little over 4 now, a little over 4 months.
Okay, so you're like, you could say you're comfortably kind of like in your groove now?
Yes, yeah, for sure. I would say so.
Cool. Okay, so with that in mind, how often are you eating out and not tracking? And then the kind of side question, so we'll answer that one first, but then the side question was on prep versus the off season.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, during the off season, like right now and stuff, I mean, I'm eating a ton of calories right now. Like if you guys kind of follow me and see that I post my macros at night, like I'm eating, you know what I mean? I'm eating about 700
Don't
grams
tell
of
us
carbs
yet. Don't
right
tell
now.
us yet. That's a question for later.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so, okay, what I'll say is I have the flexibility now to be able to eat out when I want. It's not something I still do all the time. Like I still prep all my meals at home, and I do the same old thing that I would do during a contest prep, just more foods. The one thing I find is like my food variety, though, changes up a little bit. Like I just have to get the more calorically dense items in sometimes during this time just to get the calories in simply.
Yep.
But I don't know. I would say say maybe two times a week roughly during an off season. Like one thing I really like is my pizza. If you follow me too, I get a pizza every like Sunday. I try and do. There's like a really good pizza spot by where I live, and they have all these crazy kinds of combinations. So I like to try a different one every week. So it's definitely once a week, probably twice a week, I would say. But,
right on. And then sorry.
Contest prep was the other one?
Yeah. Just on prep, do you do much, or are you pretty much like, I want to know what's exactly going in?
So, yeah, I mean, ideally it would be none, but does that happen? No, because you know what I mean? Life happens, stuff happens. Again, I wouldn't be able to say like, oh, it was a once a week or once every 2 weeks kind of deal, because on prep it was just kind of minimal. I would try to keep it pretty minimal. I mean, you can go. What I would do is you can find your way around. You can go to a Subway and you can make your own thing or go something like that, and you can be pretty accurate, I find, with that. But again, like I said, there's going to be some kind of guesstimation, and like I said, in contest prep, you want to be as accurate as possible, obviously. So try and minimize that. But
especially for people that haven't competed, right? You can kind of get away with it a little bit early, but as the end of prep approaches, you want to be pretty stringent. Like, going through Valentine's Day this year, like my girlfriend and I ate in with all our normal food. Like we didn't do anything fancy. Thankfully, there's no other holidays before we compete, but like I've had to go through Christmas, I've had to go through my birthday, but like, you do what you got to do, right? You'll have one next year. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. Like I was saying, because I was talking to one of my friends about this the other day. So yeah, because in total in 2018, so I prepped for 40 weeks in total, back like with my 2 shows back to back. So that I went through a lot of holidays, a lot of tough times, and that's when I kind of looked back and I was like, there was almost a full year that I pretty much missed out on a lot of stuff. So that's another thing. What I say when people ask me, do you go out, do you do this and that? Like I do, I totally, I'll go out and enjoy if I want to go and have some drinks with my friends or find that balance, because when you look back and realize, like, I almost missed out on a full year doing those things. And as much as I do love bodybuilding, I have a life, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I enjoy many other things, and I want to be able to do those things with my friends as well. So
Yeah.
during an off season, I think it's a perfect time to be able to work that in and have that balance.
For sure. Speaking of 40 weeks, now that was just a question popped into my head right now. Do you feel that might have been too long for where you were to where you got to? Because like when you said that, I've done 28 this prep, and I'm almost to the point where I'm thinking 28 might have been even just that little bit ambitious. Like, could have probably got away with like 24, 25 and saved myself just that little bit extra. Do you feel that way about 40 weeks? Like, that's a long time. Like you said, that's just shy of a year, man.
Yeah. So what happened was, I went in. I knew I was starting at a pretty high body fat percentage. I knew that. I went into my bulk. I bulked heavy, so I wanted to obviously give myself more than enough time than not enough time. Like,
Sure.
you know, obviously.
Yep.
So I went in and I had 20. It was 28 weeks for the Muscle Mayhem exactly. So that actually worked out pretty.
Yeah, that would work
well
then.
in my opinion, because I think I nailed it pretty good. I had like a diet break or two. I was eating like 2 refeeds a week. Like, things were pretty good. It moved along nicely, and I think like the lowest my calories got weren't even that low, like 2,000, maybe 1,900. Wow. Like, it wasn't like super crazy at all.
Those are my high days.
Yeah. So it was pretty good. And then what happened was, obviously, like, you win, all the excitement's going through, and I was like, okay, 28-week prep. I was like, I'm pretty toast. Like, I was pretty done. And then that's when I was talking to my coach, like Patrick, and we were chatting. He's like, listen, like, in the rules, you got to compete within a year of winning your pro card. Wow. And I was like, geez, man, like a year. I was like, I can't go through a whole cut and bulk process.
That's the thing, right? You'd come out of it, and then you'd have to turn around and go right back in.
Exactly. So it would have been useless. I just would have accumulated a bunch of fat and had to cut it all off, and done nothing, basically just spinning my wheels.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, what makes the most sense? Let's just look for the closest show. Let's just stay in shape, not go crazy, and just kind of reverse out of here slowly.
Yeah.
Which we did, but unfortunately 12 weeks was obviously the closest show. So it was like,
that's literally another prep for most people.
That's what I mean. It was killer. Like, I remember, because it was unfortunate, because all my buddies, like, were just so pumped. Like, oh man, we're gonna celebrate, can't wait. And I come back,
Brenton's back. Let's do it.
Another 12 weeks, boys. I said another 12 weeks. We'll be there soon. But no. So yeah. Sorry, I'm getting to my point here. Is I think the 28 weeks was long, but in my situation with the bulk that I did, it was necessary.
Yep.
But the 12 weeks was nothing for me but stress. Like, it really, like, I find, like, I put the side-to-side pictures from the Muscle Mayhem to the pro show in October. It just wasn't as crisp, wasn't as sharp. Just things didn't look as good. it was midterms. There was so much going on in my life. There was complications going on with my low blood sugars. There's a lot going on, and it just was
starting to reject.
So dragged out. It dragged out, and it kind of faded my look, in my opinion. But it's just a lesson learned, right? So
exactly right. You had to, and as he said with the rules, right? You kind of had to succumb to it.
It was exactly there was nothing I could do. So well, I did it, and you know what? I came third place, so I was pretty happy about that. So can't complain.
Sweet, that's awesome. All right, question answered. Next one. Speaking of competing, question: how did you peak for your last show? And then they had in brackets water, sodium, carbs, etc.
So last show I did. So like I said, I worked with. I have worked with him the whole time. Patty Lifts.
Yep.
So Patrick, I met him because he's from my hometown there, city Halifax. Yep. So it's like I kind of knew him for a long time.
Sure.
So I worked with him for my first show in 2016, and we did the same kind of sort of approach, kind of like it was like a rapid backload approach is what we did actually. So he just kind of had a feel of how much carbs and stuff I could handle. So he had a pretty good idea of like what my body, how it would react and stuff like that. So what we did was we actually, starting on the Saturday, Saturday to
Saturday. Run me through like the entire peak week, bro.
Yeah, Saturday. So Saturday to, I think it was about Saturday to Wednesday, carbs were very low, like 150. They stayed very low from Saturday to Wednesday.
Okay.
water stayed about the same, about 4 liters. And it kind of actually, yeah, it was pretty static at 4 liters.
Okay.
Stayed at 4 liters. And then that's when it was Thursday. We started ramping up carbs. So carbs went to about 300 or 400. Then we also pushed water to 6 liters, and sodium also stayed the same from Saturday to Wednesday, along with everything else.
Did you add salt, or that's just salt with the foods?
Just kind of salt with the foods, and just my regular stuff that I was doing. Like I kind of used basically the same amount of condiments and stuff like that. So we just basically didn't want to manipulate anything. Kept it pretty basic, right? We didn't want to fool around with anything.
Yep.
And then that's when Thursday to Saturday we just kind of ramped things up. So Thursday was like the first kind of jump. So pushed sodium up an extra about 1,000 milligrams. Pushed water up an extra 2 liters, pushed carbs up to about 400 grams. And then Friday was the final push. So doubled water. So water went to 8 liters. Sodium went up again another 1,000 milliliters or milligrams, sorry.
Yep.
And what did carbs go to? About 500 or 600. So kind of like another jump up. And then we just kind of monitored the look throughout the night, send pictures every couple hours.
Yep.
There was a few times he would tell me eat a little bit, so I'm sure I ate a little bit more than that because there was just random snacks he would tell me to grab at certain points. But yeah, no, that's how things went. And then just in the morning, like just kind of sipped on water when I was thirsty and stuff like that. Tried not to like bloat myself or anything, but yeah, that's
what were like carb sources from Thursday to Saturday?
So, like, I mean, I'm sure, like most competitors, a lot of the rice cakes and like jam, just something super simple. Like, again, something easy that I could digest. I knew I've eaten a bunch of it, was comfortable I could handle them, weren't going to bloat me or anything like that. So, lots of like rice cakes and jam. What did I do? We did Pop-Tarts. I did some Pop-Tarts, which were nice. That was a nice treat.
Historically, I've gone out for like a burger and stuff. Did you do anything like that?
See, I didn't, and no, I didn't do anything like that.
You kept it pretty.
Yeah, no,
pretty standard.
We toyed around with the idea of it and stuff, but just throughout my prep, like I didn't do really cheat meals or stuff like that. Like I just did more refeed days and stuff. So I think it's because we did play around with it. We didn't know how I was going to react to it. It's just kind of a risky thing.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you hadn't done it, that makes sense for sure. Because you're right. You don't know. You don't know how your body's going to react to something it didn't have for 6 months.
Yeah, exactly, man. So you're doing it regularly, and you wake up the next day, and you're like, "Oh wow, like I'm looking sharp." So for someone like you, if your body reacts, obviously that would be a good thing to do. But yeah, no, lots of rice cakes, stuff like that. I had like some pasta. I was having like some breads, like some more white bread though, like not too much fiber, low fiber stuff. Sorry, what did you say?
Good times, eh?
Oh yeah, no, man, it was great for competitive low carbs. It was just unreal. But yeah, no, mostly I kept it pretty simple. Like I said, tried to keep the fiber pretty low and stuff like that, and just like easy digesting things. But
nice. With peak week in mind, just a side note, how was training that week? Did you guys do anything crazy or keep it pretty moderate?
Kept it moderate, kept intensity super low, and just kind of, I guess, did like some depletion style workouts or just kind of
pump work.
Threw up the volume a bit, threw up the reps, stuff like that, and just kind of depleted out. Didn't really go much close to failure, stuff like that. Kept it light and simple. And I did a light workout Friday, just like kind of. I just like to get the food going through me. You know what I mean? Just kind of get a little pump going. Yeah. Just kind of feels good. Just keep me in the groove. It's something I like to do mentally too. It just keeps me in a good routine, keep things the same. So
yeah, I'm a fan of that too.
Just like.
Exactly. Yeah. I have like bands always by my side, like in the hotel room. Like I'm like doing lateral raises every 15 minutes just for giggles, just because. But I know what you mean. Yeah. It kind of just keeps you like, knowing what's coming.
Yes, exactly. You want to you want to feel comfortable, feel ready. You want to feel in your element and stuff. So yeah, exactly.
For sure. Right on. All right, next one. This is an interesting one. How fast did you recover sex drive after a long diet?
Yeah, okay. You know what? That's an interesting one because this prep I started there was just certain things I found that I would notice would happen. Like I would wake up and be like, wow, like my sleep really improved this week, or
Yeah.
just certain things would, yeah, like hormonally, you could just notice like
Sure.
certain things starting to happen. Like I don't really know some of the exact changes, but with the the recovery diet approach, with me kind of being pretty aggressive with my calorie increase right after the show, I think that really sped up my recovery. And I would say like, I don't know, like I would say like 8 weeks, 10 weeks post show, like I was feeling pretty good. I think I was sitting comfortably probably in the high 170s. I probably gained about 20 pounds or so. I was feeling pretty comfortable. So, I mean, like I know there's been some research done and like some case studies and stuff showing that it actually takes quite a long time for your hormones and stuff to fully restore. So I wouldn't say I was fully recovered. But I would say
Felt better.
Psychologically, for the way I feel, I felt my normal basically. So about 10 weeks, I would say roughly.
Yeah, it's crazy, how long, it takes stuff to really get back to normal. I'm like you in that I did more of an aggressive, like after my last show, like I was aggressively trying to get back to normal, I guess, for lack of a better term. Like I didn't care about the fat gain that came along with it because I was so run down. I just wanted to feel normal again. And then I got a little heavier than when I started prep, but after a few weeks of like getting normal, it kind of regulated itself back down to like my normal set point. But like you said, like 4 to 6 to 8 weeks, I was like, okay, like I survived. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, man, I was like, after that 40-week prep, I was literally like, man, just get the fat on my body. Like, I just want to feel normal. I want to be like, I just want to be able to go to a social gathering and be like, not just staring at the food in the room and not talking to like just weird stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like this, like I just want to be normal again. So I was the exact same way.
The mental relief is huge, eh? Like that's one thing. Like my girlfriend's prepping for this same show that I am, and I remember at like maybe like 10 or 12 weeks out, I'm like, we had talks about like the post-show feels, right? And like the hunger that sets in and kind of the relief that it's over and like you can eat whatever you want with like no guilt or restrictions, and like it can kind of spiral on you, right? And at that point she was like, no, like I'm not concerned with that. I'm like, I'm telling you, it's gonna hit you. And now that we're like 5 weeks out, like she's having the food feels, and it's like, no, like yes, you can have things, but you got to decide like, okay, am I going to slowly come out of it and have to be more strict? Or am I going to be like, okay, kind of like what me and you probably did is like, look, I just want to feel good again. If I get a little fluffy, I've got a bigger pair of pants in the drawer ready for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, man. No, totally. I just think it depends. I think the main one too, I feel just like, females in general probably have a little bit harder time with the extra fat gain and kind of the recovery approach. They want to like kind of stay leaner and stuff, the males, you got the bear mode and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. We got excuses.
Exactly. It's just like, oh, bulk mode, who cares? No big deal. But so it's a little bit easier for us. But totally, man. I think it just depends what your situation is and what's best for you.
Cool. And question answered. All right, next one. Simple and to the point. What's with the ollie lifting?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I know. See, this is something cool I don't really get to talk about too much, but so in my class, so what we're doing is we just do different. So one of my classes, exercise programming. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm with one of my teachers throughout the whole day, and a lot of our classes is really hands-on. So we'll basically sit down in the morning from like, say, 9 to 10:30. We'll learn about different styles of programming, how to structure different exercises together, like different legs. It's pretty cool, actually, because my professor, he listens to like Dr. Mike Israetel. So we learn about we learn about like volume landmarks and like all these different things, and we actually just chat back and forth about different stuff, which is cool. But so what we do is just so hands-on, which I love. So we'll sit down, we'll learn about something, and we'll literally be like, okay, let's go do it. So we're learning about Olympic lifting. We're learning about how to teach people how to do drills for this. So it's like, let's just go do it kind of thing. So we have to, so it's actually part of my mark to do it, record myself, and actually be able to perform the movements and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's sick. That's actually a super cool class.
Yeah. No, I love it, obviously. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I was actually, when the question came in, I was actually kind of wondering that myself. I'm like, okay, like, cool, Because I've dabbled in
Yeah.
it too when I was in college too, right? Because we had like the bumper plates at the college and stuff, and like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's super sick. Like the movements are cool, right? Like you feel like an animal.
Yep. Yeah.
But I was wondering that myself. Like, okay, like physique athlete doing Olympic lifts. What's going on here? I know he doesn't just
Yeah.
want traps.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's just super hard. Like for me, again, like I like kind of trying new things. I like
Yeah.
to trying to challenge myself, and it's just totally something I would never do. Like if you ever asked me before, like if I didn't have to do it for my mark, I would probably have never tried it, to be
Yeah.
honest.
For sure.
Which I'm really glad I did because I really enjoyed it. It's super fun.
Yep.
Is it ideal with my physique goals? Probably not, because I can already tell, like just doing something like I can see how people get hurt doing these. Like
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're putting a lot of that weight over your head, like a pretty quick movement,
Yeah.
it can be pretty dangerous. So, but it's just hard too because I'm pretty competitive. So we're in class, and I got some really strong guys in my class. So I'm trying to keep up with them
Yeah,
and
for
stuff.
sure.
Like they've had some previous experience, but it's fun. We have a good time. So it's more or less just for my class and just something new to try, really, and have some fun with. So
Right on, right on. What kind of numbers are you hitting right now, just out of the blue?
So I did, what was it? My one rep clean. So what was it? A clean was, I think it was 215.
That's a good lift. That's a good one.
Which I don't know. Like I don't really know.
I mean,
landmarks
For
me, it
someone
was
not
good.
doing it, I'd say that's solid.
Okay, sweet. And then what was my snatch? I think my snatch was 165 or something like that.
Solid.
So
Right
yeah,
on.
I mean I've done it for what 3 months. So
Nice.
we'll work it up someday. We'll get up
Cool,
there.
cool. Right on, man. All right, next question. This is one that you had in. Do muscle gains vary from training one body part per day, so like a bro split, versus splitting it up and grouping things together, maybe like a push day, pull day, legs, that kind of stuff?
Well,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. Yeah, so in my opinion, I mean, I think we've kind of seen from most people from the literature that like training a muscle twice per week, like that more frequently would be more ideal for muscle growth.
Yeah.
I also think like for someone like me personally, wire bro split, I don't think would be most ideal for me just because I get pretty tired. Like if I go in and do like 2 pretty hard chest exercises, like I'm pretty gassed.
Yeah, you're done.
The rest of my work is just kind of like junk volume. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
if I went in and tried to if I'm doing like 20 sets of chest per week and I did all those 20 sets in just one workout, it's going to be a lot for me. And like the recovery and everything is just not going to be ideal.
Yeah.
So ideally, I think it's more beneficial to spread out your volume, just be fresher. So, go in, do two or three chest exercises Monday, 2 or 3 Thursday, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, like again, I don't think it has, like, I'm not saying you can't make any muscle growth or you can't make progress doing once a week, because you totally can. Is it ideal? Maybe not. But if that's what you like and that's what you enjoy, then sure. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
That's the thing, right? Like a question like that's kind of hard to answer because there's no one really right answer, right? It's totally user specific, right? And like if you've made amazing progress doing chest once a week, I say keep rolling with it. Don't be like,
100%.
well, should I do 2 sessions? Well, maybe, but like why screw up what you're already doing, right? Like I'm kind of in the same line as you, whereas I'd rather do 2 sessions a week, like split it up a little bit, spread the volume out, because again, just like you said, like if I go hard on flat bench and incline dumbbell, the rest of the workout, if it's chest I'm trying to hit, is just going to be like subpar, right? Whereas if I do like, flat bench on Monday with incline dumbbell, and then on Thursday, like you said, maybe I go incline bench and like a cable fly, okay, my chest is getting quality volume twice versus like one good session and then some shit to follow.
Yep, 100%, man. But yeah, like I agree with you. And then, like you said too, it's kind of what you enjoy, because I know myself when I first started training, I loved the pump. I loved going in because I followed bro split for a long time.
We all did. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And one of the things I loved was just going in like hammering a body part, like just doing like 4 or 5 chest exercises.
And then you can't lift. You can't even move the next day.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I think that was actually part of the reason why I stuck with things. I think if I was trying to chase optimal too early and saying, oh, maybe I got to split it up, I may not have enjoyed my training and actually kind of fell off with things, right? So it's kind of just what you can, like you said, what you can stick to and what you can enjoy. So
it's funny how, like you hear, like say for what we're doing, right? Say for example, we're doing like a push-pull legs or something like that. I had like a client tell me, okay, let's go through what you're doing right now. And He's like, Monday's chest day. I'm like, of course it is. I'm like, what do you do?
Yeah.
He's like, I start with flat bench. I do 5x5. I'm like, okay. He's like, then I do incline dumbbell press, 3 sets of 10. Okay. Then I go incline hammer strength, 3 sets of 10. Cable fly high, 3 sets. Cable fly low. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I don't think I do that much chest in a month, bro. And he's like, and he's running through it all. And then I'm like, okay, what's Tuesday? He's like, well, Tuesday's back. I'm like, okay, run me through back. He's like, well, I'm doing pull-ups, wide pull-downs, close pull-downs, reverse pull-downs, T-bar row, cable row. I'm like, oh my God. But again, like, I can't hate on him because he's young, and I did the same thing when I was young, right? Like, I can give him my personal opinion and feedback, but at the end of the day, like, if he enjoys it, like you said, if you enjoy what you're doing, why change it? Like, there's going to be a time where you plateau and you're going to have to make adjustments. But if you run with that for the first 16 months of your training career, make progress and enjoy doing it, I say go with it.
Yep, no, 100%, man. I agree with you. Actually, it's funny. Just a quick little story. I had a client who came to me recently. It was the same kind of situation. He was like, I just plateaued. He was working with a trainer previously. Long story short, I got him to show me his program. He was doing some kind of like almost variation of like German volume training, like all these crazy 10 sets of 10
by 10,
just crazy amounts. So I just basically chopped everything in half. He was just like freaking out. He's like, oh, like I can't, like he's like, that's not enough. Like I can't go in the gym and only do this. He's like, I'm not going to make progress. Anyways, then obviously a month down the road, he's seeing all this progress. He's progressing, and he's like, oh, geez, and realizing that what, more isn't always better in the case of volume. So
he's not in the gym for 3 hours.
Yeah, that too. That's the other thing. He's like, geez, I'm in and out so quick. So there you go. Save some time. So
quality, right? Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Okay, next one. Main carb sources you're consuming right now, and how you're consuming so many calories. So this is kind of where I cut you off at the beginning of the podcast. So now let's talk about the bulking and the food and all that good stuff.
Totally, man. Totally. So, so I mean, just like I'm sure, just like as you can say about yourself, every year you just kind of like learn more, like just being in the bodybuilding community, you just learn different things. You're listening to podcasts. Anyway, so one of the things I was listening to is a lot of like the Revive Stronger with, I think it was Broderick he was talking to, just about like high carb massing approach, just like kind of doing like setting your fats at basically like a minimal amount and then just kind of going through your carbs. So the idea in my mind really made sense. And I was like, you know what? Let's give it a shot. Let's try it out. I really wanted to take my off season very seriously, and I really wanted to, because I have some big goals in 2020 that I want to reach, and I know it's going to be a lot of work. So, so I said, let's go with it. So I tried the high carb. So what I'm doing is, essentially keeping my fats pretty minimal, that's about 20% actually right now. So it was about 15 before. So about 20% of my caloric intake's fats, about 25 to 30% protein, and the rest carbs.
Wow.
So essentially I'm just, my protein's about 210, 225. That just like stays the same.
So that's just over a gram per pound for you, right? Because you're what, 190 right now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm about 192 or so in the morning right now. So protein's about 225 or so. Keeping my fat, well, actually right now my fats are about 80 to 85 roughly. And my carbs are at 700 right now. So
that's amazing though.
I know. See, but that's actually the funny thing. Like I've never been to the point where like the past couple weeks or the past like 2 weeks, like I'm actually really like, I'm struggling. Like I find like I really have to like, if I like on a weekend, I will struggle to hit my calories because I'm sleeping in. I'm not on my routine. Like I wake up every morning 7:30 for school. I eat a big breakfast, and then every couple hours I'm eating.
Sure.
If I'm like, sleep until like 10 or 10:30 and just blah blah blah, don't eat till like 12 or something. It's like, oh geez, I got to catch up on a lot of calories. So
the day gets away from you.
So my main carb source is like I said, my food selection doesn't really change that much from prep to off season or whatever. It's just like the quantity, I guess. So I'm still doing like oats and rice and all those main things, but less of like the oats and rice, more of like pastas, like bagels,
dense stuff.
like muffins, stuff like that. And I'm starting to put like honey and jams on like English muffins, just stuff like that. Yeah, just anything to get it in like that. Pasta's been another big one that's actually been a go-to. Just so many carbs in it, and just the low fat content, obviously. Yeah, but like the one thing that's really changing is how much I'm eating of those foods and how much less I'm eating of like the oats. Like if I can't eat hundreds of grams of carbs of oats a day. Like I just can't do it. Like it's just too much. And it's funny how your palate, like your taste buds change too. Like some of the foods I was eating on prep, like I can't even really do it anymore. I'm just like, I can't do it. Like my body, just to get the food in, like I need to eat these foods that just taste better and more palatable for me. So that's when, like I do have, I'm not trying to get a bunch of my calories from it, but I do have like my Pop-Tarts, grab a Pop-Tart or two before class. I'll grab, like I'm always eating cereal actually. If I'm eating a lot more
cereal's a lifesaver, bro.
Yeah, man, like you can get so many carbs in from cereal so easily. So, and the carb choices aren't really changing. Just, I guess, how much of certain foods are changing up a little bit just because I got to get the calories in, like I said. So,
wow. Run me through like a typical day. Like, can you go through like, okay, breakfast is usually this, then snack A, snack B?
Yeah, I can actually. So it's pretty. Yeah, so right now I'm either on a like kind of a shake smoothie thing in the morning, or I'll do my Kodiak protein pancakes roughly. Yep. So I like to try and get in about 75 to 100 carbs right in the morning. I like to get a good like at least 30 grams of protein in, and then just some fats or whatever. It doesn't really matter. So usually those are like my two first meals, which roughly are the same calorically, in the same ballpark.
Sure.
And then, so that'll be my first meal around, say, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
I'll go to class and whatnot. And then usually around 10 is when I'll have a snack, which will be, for the most part, like usually a protein bar and like maybe a banana and an apple. Or sometimes I'll do like, you can get the individual little like Greek yogurt cups or whatever.
Okay, yep.
Sometimes a few of those. But again, just like a little bolus of protein, like 25 grams, and then just like 50 to 100 grams of carbs, roughly, something like that. And then for lunch, around say 12 or 1, will usually be kind of like a chicken and rice or a beef and rice meal, something along those lines.
A typical bodybuilding meal.
Yeah, like a pretty standard, just something and throw it in Tupperware, something pretty standard like that. Again, like I said, roughly the same kind of nutritional content. I like to have a little bit more fat in there because I got to get my fat source in somewhat at some points throughout the day.
Yep.
And then, kind of a couple hours later, a snack maybe. I've been doing actually a lot of like just a couple whole eggs and just like bagels, like just throwing like a whole egg on a bagel, kind of eating it like that. So, bagels and eggs are a go-to snack. Cereal, like I said, I'm just trying to look around, see what food's out here. Just grabbing like Pop-Tarts and random stuff, but those are like just snacks throughout the day. And then supper, again, will kind of probably be like, actually, you know what? Suppers, I've been doing a lot of like pastas lately, or sometimes I'll do something like I'll try and have like a slow cooker meal, like maybe like a pulled pork or just something a little bit different to try and have some variety in my diet a little bit. But then, and then just before bed, again, just something around the house.
Ben and Jerry's.
Oatmeal. Exactly. I've been doing, actually I have, what was it? Like, I still like it, the frozen yogurt. So it's just lower in fat.
Yeah.
But I'll just do like a Chapman's frozen yogurt or something like that, just higher in carb.
Yep.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's the same kind of foods. I kind of have like a few go-to meals for snacks in each meal. I just kind of rotate them.
Nice. And do you meticulously track everything every day?
To be honest, I kind of do in a way. Like, what I've actually recently stopped doing, which has just been the past couple weeks, is like I stopped doing the whole food scale chicken. Like, I mean, I've literally tracked for like so long now, I can pretty much guess. So I don't do that anymore, but I do track. Like, I'll go on MyFitnessPal, just because, like I said, you know what, I'm pretty serious about my goals next year, and I really want to control those variables. Like, for me, it's no time out of my day, and it's just to help me towards my goals. If I can ensure that I'm in the surplus without just being like, oh yeah, I'm in the surplus, without realizing it, kind of thing, why not? It takes me an extra couple seconds, and if it's going to help me that little bit, why not, right? I don't mind it, and it's what I enjoy. So
Exactly.
So,
with you being
sorry to answer your question. Pretty meticulously.
okay.
Pretty. Yeah.
For how much you posted, I figured you did.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Quite a bit.
With you being so full from the carbs and stuff, like, are you getting much like whole veggies in at all, or are you just like, meh?
So yeah, actually, that's funny. That's the other thing that's happening is I still am, but a lot less. Totally, like 100% honest. Like definitely a lot less, man. Like during my preps, like I was killing the salads and just so many veggies all the time, obviously because you're trying to get the volume in. But the more weeks I've been into my off season, the less the veggies have been getting thrown in. But what I try and do, like a go-to of mine, is just have like a container of spinach and just throw like a little handful in my and just microwave it, and it kind of shrinks up.
Yeah.
Throw it in there, mix it around, get it in.
A little bit of health insurance.
That or frozen veggies. I'll just frozen veggies, steam some of those. But I should probably eat more, to be honest.
He's honest, right? We gotta appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean about like being on prep. Like for people that haven't gone through it, like you start to like find ways to hack like food in without getting calories. Like my go-to right now, like one of my meals on like lower carb days is literally just ground beef and broccoli. I'm like, man, how can I make this more? So I've been throwing like a handful of spinach in, like the frying pan with mushrooms, and like I found this cauliflower rice, which is like 10 calories for like a cup. Fry that all up, put it all in like a salad bowl, and like, it's like it makes like this much of a meal, like this much, and it's like only like 5 more calories. I'm like, all right, this can get me through the next 2 hours.
Yeah, no, that's unreal. I did the same sort of thing. I remember my prep. I was doing kind of like a classic, like a Mad Ogus huge, massive salad bowl. I would just like literally get the biggest containers I could find and just throw in ridiculous amounts of veggies, and then just one protein source, and then like some salsa or something low calorie.
Yeah. Do what you got to do.
Exactly, got to do it.
All right, man. Last one. With your nutrition in mind, what are the benefits of having your calories so high in the off season? Maybe like scientifically, what are the benefits, and like what are you personally going through right now that you feel like, okay, eating this much is giving me ABC result?
Well, I think obviously just performance and recovery wise, like food, obviously being extremely important for that. So I just find, again, like I mentioned earlier, just really just taking my off season seriously and controlling the variable of ensuring that I am in the surplus, I found it's just ticking those boxes. Like I'm just going into the gym and it's just like, I feel the same every day kind of thing. It's just like, everything's the same. Obviously you're going to have those off days and whatnot. Sure. But I go in the gym, it's like, I should hit this number, and I'm hitting the number, and things are going good. And it's just, I find, like I said, it's just really ensuring that I'm recovering. It's ensuring that my performance is going to be on point. Yeah. It's just really, just like I said, ticking those boxes daily. I think a benefit really that I see in the off season is just basically setting yourself up for future fat loss. Yeah. So like I said, I'm eating close to almost 4,500 calories right now. So I don't know what that's going to be at the end of my off season. Who knows, right? And then by the time I start a diet, I'm going to be eating still double the amount of calories a bikini competitor would eat. You know what I mean? Legit. So I find because I'll get to the point where food is just like revolting almost, and I don't want to eat. And then once you get there, dieting's so easy. You just feel like the first couple weeks aren't even anything because you're just like, it's a nice break. You know what I mean? So I think that sets you up for a great spot metabolically for fat loss in the future.
It's so amazing how you can go from one end of the spectrum to the other. Like I'm at the point now where like I would eat anything, and you're at the point now where you're like a big thing of like pasta with beef and Parmesan and stuff, and you got some Pop-Tarts over here, and you're like, man, I don't even want to eat that. And I'm sitting here like, dude, eat it.
Yeah. It's actually funny. One of my buddies mentioned that the other day. I have a really good couple friends in my class because they watched me go through it all. Yeah. And he was literally like, I can't believe this, because he's watching me. I'm like, sometimes I'm just sitting there just getting it down, like sweating almost, just like, Jesus. He's like, get it in, man, get it in, because he knows I'm trying, like, he knows what I'm going through and stuff, because I keep telling him what I'm trying to do and stuff. So he's like, it's crazy how literally 3-4 months ago, I seen you basically licking your bowl clean,
Legit.
getting any kind of vegetable you could while I was on prep. To now, he said you can't even eat a freaking cookie. You don't want any of this stuff. You know what I mean? The spectrum. It's crazy how it can go through when your body fat changes like that.
Do you expect scale weight to go up any more significantly over the next maybe 6 to 8 months?
So my plan is like, I kept saying I want to hit 200, which would be great because like just it would just be super cool to say I hit 200. And I mean, I'm so close. It's really slowed down recently. Like the scale weight, it was pretty consistent, like really good actually, like going super steady.
Yeah.
It has slowed down quite a bit recently. But my plan is probably gain a few more pounds at least. Definitely try and get over 195. But I think I'm going to mini cut, and I want to mini cut like before summer, just to kind of tighten things up a little bit. Maybe like a month or two. Mini cut a little bit. I'll probably do like a 6-week mini cut. I'm thinking. Yep. And then I think from there the plan is I'm going to keep gaining up until 2020.
Sure.
I'll figure out the exact plan, but I may do kind of like, just like I said, learning more and stuff. I may do like, even as I know, like AJ and them talk about sometimes, like the diet before the diet, do like kind of maybe a mini cut and a little maintenance phase before I prep or something along those lines. But essentially it's looking like a mini cut very soon, and then just keep on massing until getting close to competition season in 2020.
That's awesome. Quick side question. When you go out, say you go out for like that pizza on Sunday, do you track that, or do you treat it like you track all your food and then this is just like, I'm just going to eat this? Like, do you kind of give yourself like that freedom, I guess, for lack of a better term, even though you're kind of free as it is?
Yeah, no, good question, man, because actually I get this a lot too, and it's easier if I just explain it. What I'll do essentially is, obviously I'm more free with it. What I'll do is I'll track throughout the day, but all I try and do is essentially, because I estimate, like if I'm like, okay, I'm going to eat a full small 12-inch pizza or whatever the case may be, I'll say that's roughly 1,200 calories or something. I'll kind of give myself that. So what I'll do is I'll just try and basically make sure that I've at least eaten, say, 3,000 calories or whatever the case may be up until I get the pizza. And then I'll just make sure, what I really care about is just making sure I at least have like, say, 180 grams of protein or something like that. You know what I mean?
Protein and the rest, call it a day.
Yeah, like a certain amount of protein and at least a certain amount of calories, and then the rest, whatever.
Yeah, like I'm already, like my girlfriend and I actually sat down today and we're kind of like planning like off-season approach of like how we want to do it, because I've been competing since 2015 and I've never really had like a full-on structured off-season. I competed basically like what felt like every few months for almost 3 years, and then had I think 9 months up until this prep. And then after this season, after these next two shows, like kind of the same boat as you, taking like 1.5 to 2 years off.
Nice.
And I'm kind of thinking, kind of similar to what you're doing, like 85% is tracked and structured, and then you've got that 15% where it's like, we go out for dinner, it's roughly this, I'm cool with it. Maybe we go to the movies, it's all good. And yeah, kind of going with that. I like, hearing your side of it because I'm thinking about it, but actually to hear it, it makes sense. Obviously it's working for you, so cool. That excites me.
Yeah, no, totally, man. Like, honestly, I think it's a super good approach because it's just something like, it's just something to look forward to. Like, like I said, I'm not into the position where it's like I'm food focused or anything at all. Yeah. So, but it's still nice to be like, oh, you know what, I'm going to get a pizza on the weekend. And to have that, I found what would happen to me in previous off season is I would go through these kind of things where I would try, like I wasn't tracking. So I'd kind of try and eat clean, I guess you would say. And then some days I would be like, oh, I'd slip up and I'd kind of be like, oh, what should I have done that? And then I'd eat maybe bad for another day or two, and then I'll clean it up again kind of thing. And I was like, why am I doing that? That doesn't really, it just didn't make sense or didn't really play out for me and work out. So I want to try this approach, and it's really working out for me good. I'm really enjoying it, so it's nice.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, that was the last question that I had for you. Super informative. We hit a lot of different bases there, so that was cool.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. That was an awesome talk. Thanks so much for having me, man. I enjoyed this. It was fun. Yeah,
no problem. Plug your Instagram and stuff, dude. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so Instagram is where I will be most active, and that's just my name, so just at Bretton McNeil. And that's pretty much all I really use, actually. And then Facebook, Facebook, I have a coaching page, McNeil Made Online Coaching, if you guys are interested in that as well.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, you heard it from the man himself. His stuff will be linked below. If you guys enjoyed this, be sure to let one of us know. Submit questions anytime, and we'll both make note of it maybe, and we'll set them aside for next time.
Perfect, man.
All right, dude. Well, enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks for coming on the podcast, and we will do this again soon.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for having me. Chat with you later.
You bet, bud. See ya.